Hello everyone, welcome to eGATE.ai. In this video, we will understand data abstraction. So data abstraction, let's start with understanding abstraction itself, and the meaning is really, the general meaning of abstraction is basically hiding unnecessary information from somebody, right? So it always happens, right? So let's say in terms of database systems, if I say this is my physical layer, and this down below might say this is my logical layer, right? Then the communication between physical and logical layer is always guided by abstraction. Okay, so logical layer is not bothered about how exactly physical layer is handling storage of the information, storage of the data, right? At logical layer we visualize it in terms of table, etc., and accordingly, let's say some query is given to logical layer to update the table or store something to the table. Then logical layer uses some API given by physical layer and just informs physical layer to store the data accordingly or alter the data accordingly. Logical layer doesn't bother about the actual storage or the address of the data where it is stored in the disk, etc. Okay, so this kind of abstraction from one layer to another is abstraction. Okay, this kind of hiding information or hiding unnecessary information is abstraction, right? So in database we have three kind of abstraction we have to sort of remember. The first one is basically physical layer abstraction, or which happens at physical level. So let's write physical level. Well, so as you can guess, physical level abstraction talks about physical storage, right? How physically it is stored, which includes like storage, indexing, clustering, etc. Okay, so this talks about, or this has information about at physical level. It talks about these abstractions, okay, at physical level. But again, as I said, like the other layer, for instance logical layer, they don't have to, or logical layer doesn't have to worry about the storage, indexing and clustering. Okay, so yeah, so that's the abstraction I'm talking about, very fairly simple. Let's understand the second one, which is logical, which is at logical level. So as you can guess, at logical level, we have abstraction, and it represents logical structure and schema abstraction. Okay, and again this hide complexities from another layer, which can be view layer, or it hide unnecessary information from the user as well. So user only visualize this layer as table and constraints, etc. So this is logical level of abstraction. And then finally we have view level. View level is more about representing user level instructions or interactions, user level interactions. So it is more like how user is interacting with something at logical level. And we do have, because multiple users are doing working here. So this layer talks about, of course, data presentation and access. Okay, so let's say if there are two users, they will not have, and they have different permission, right? So they only see what they are allowed to see, right? So for instance, if we configure the permission that they can see only a particular schema, right, they cannot see then other schema. So you can create user, and you can assign database. So if you have used MySQL, you can create user and assign a particular database to the user. Now when that user logs in, that user can only see anything about that particular database. So it's view level abstraction or restriction. Okay, or you can say it is view level restriction, which is helping achieve abstraction. So yeah, that's view level abstraction. So this was about abstraction, fairly simple. Let us hope you have understood it. If you have any question or doubt, of course, feel free to ask. Thank you very much. See you in the next lecture.